The President. Members, government officials, good morning. Questions. Question 1, Mr. Andrew FAN. Thank you, President. First, I need to declare that I am an independent non-executive director of the China Aircraft Leasing Group. It is expressed that in the 2026-27 budget that the government will promote the development of Hong Kong into a first aircraft parts processing and trading center in Asia. And the Airport Authority of Hong Kong is also prepared to provide professional services such as aircraft dismantling and parts recycling to further enhance Hong Kong's status as an international aviation hub. In this connection, will the government inform this council, 1, whether the government and the Airport Authority will set up a task force to conduct dedicated studies on ways to develop Hong Kong into an aircraft parts processing and trading center in Asia so as to formulate policy measures, and in the course of doing so, whether considerations will be given to setting aside sites near the airport for use as hangars or centers for handling spare parts. 2, whether discussions have been held with the relevant mainland authorities to explore the possibility of building Hong Kong into a hub for maintenance and repair of China's homegrown aircraft with a view to supporting these aircraft to go global. If not, whether we will expeditiously initiate such discussions. 3, of the strategies and measures put in place by the authorities to encourage and attract more companies engaged in trading of parts and components and transactions to establish base in Hong Kong, and to actively promote the greater participation of local companies so as to develop a comprehensive and mature ecosystem for aircraft parts mantling and trading. Secretary for Transport and Logistics. President, our country promulgated the 15th five-year plan in March this year. There is express support for Hong Kong to consolidate and upgrade its status as an international aviation hub. In last year's policy address, the chief executive announced that a leading aviation service company in Europe will set a presence in Hong Kong, and professional services such as aircraft dismantling and parts recycling will be set up in Hong Kong as well. In this year's budget, we express our intention of developing Hong Kong into the first aircraft parts processing and trading center in Asia. Aircraft parts processing and recycling is a professional service. It covers the repair, inspection, certification of aircraft parts as well as other value-added and logistics processing. With more and more aircrafts retiring around the world, there is a need to recycle some of the aircraft parts upon repair, and there is a great room for development in this regard. Earlier, through the Inland Revenue Amendment Aircraft Leasing Tax Concession Ordinance, we further optimized the tax concession measures relating to aircraft leasing. These measures can help promote the development of aircraft engine recycling and leasing, and this can create synergy with other businesses such as aircraft dismantling and parts recycling, so that a comprehensive industry chain can be set up. In relation to the matters raised, I'd like to respond as follows. 1 and 2, the government and the Airport Authority Hong Kong has been liaising very closely with the sector, and we're concerned about the latest market development in relation to parts recycling and aircraft dismantling. The Airport Authority regularly receives inquiries from relevant companies such as aircraft leasing companies, repair companies, as well as parts trading and investment companies. The Airport Authority also earlier met with the organizations and associations in the industry, including local ones and overseas ones, to gauge the situation relating to supply chain and the market response. The views received will be conducive to the formulation of policies to promote the setting up of this ecosystem, together with attracting businesses and providing supporting facilities. We enjoy unique advantages as we're connected to the mainland, and we are part of the Civil Aviation Authority's network, and it is conducive to promoting the relevant business. We also are a free port. We have highly efficient logistics system and a robust legal system. We can enhance our status as part certification and the market participants so as to build a mature ecosystem. On attracting businesses, the Financial Secretary has already set up a steering committee on special policies for key industries and investment. Now, the FS takes the lead in formulating preferential policies in collaboration with the relevant policy bureaus and public bodies. Policies including the land grant, premium subsidies, tax concessions will be drawn up to attract high value-added enterprises and industries to set up presence in Hong Kong. The steering committee will consider the relevant industries and the economic contributions they will bring, as well as jobs created in drawing up the relevant policies. The Invest Hong Kong will also flexibly use these policy tools to negotiate with enterprises. Reports will be made to the FS for final decisions. The Airport Authority will also proactively liaise with the industry stakeholders to explain the relevant developments. The government will also assist companies which would like to take forward their business in Hong Kong to help build a comprehensive industry ecosystem. Part 2. We enjoy the unique position of being supported by our country and connected to the world, and we have strived to give play to our advantages such as geographical location, flight network, free trading, and other logistics facilities. We attach great importance to the development of homegrown aircrafts. The Civil Aviation works closely with the Civil Aviation Administration of China, and we also have been proactive in the research and development as well as certification process. We take a multi-pronged approach and strive to make the International Airport of Hong Kong the commercial flight base for China aircrafts outside of the mainland. We also encourage further collaboration with the industries to explore our advantages. On aircraft maintenance, the Hong Kong International Airport has the sufficient capacity to support the repair and maintenance of our country's aircraft in Hong Kong, including ground handling and also repair and maintenance. We have 40 qualified technicians in this regard. In terms of cooperation arrangements, in April, the mainland and Hong Kong and Macau signed a cooperation arrangement on joint maintenance management. On the basis of mutual recognition of the licenses of the personnel as well as the relevant services training institutions, there will be a further expansion of scope of mutual recognition so as to allow the sharing of talents in 3 places. With more and more 3919 aircrafts flying Hong Kong routes, we will continue to enhance our repair capability and training of staff so that on all fronts we will continue to support homegrown aircrafts going global so that we can contribute to our country's needs and help our country scale new heights. Mr. Andrew FAN. Thank you, President. Well, there are studies pointing out to the fact that the aircraft parts recycling and repair is now a business to market size of $30.1 billion US. And for trading volume, we're talking about some 40 to 50 billion US dollars. We need to consolidate our status as an international aviation hub, and that means we must work on aircraft maintenance and parts recycling. We also need to attract businesses. I want to ask the administration. Now, in this regard, I understand from the reply that the Steering Committee on Special Policies for Key Industries and Investment has been set up. I want to know if this steering committee led by the FS has considered aircraft parts recycling and trading as a priority. And after receiving inquiries from enterprises, has the Airport Authority referred these cases to the CDB for follow-up? Secretary, well, thank you for your question. You've made a very good point. The government attaches great importance to this business, and that is why the Financial Secretary has personally led this steering committee so that we can, in a focused manner, start joint discussions with policy bureaus and departments in relation to high value-added industries and emerging industries so that we can draw up preferential policies to attract businesses. In fact, recently, a leading European aircraft maintenance company has set up a presence in Hong Kong with the help of Invest Hong Kong. And we provide bespoke services to support the aircraft company, and I believe that in terms of aircraft dismantling and parts recycling, this will form a major part of our economy in the future. Mr. Denslow. Now, my question is this: aircraft dismantling will become a major drive for various industries in Hong Kong in the future. So, will the government consider providing more support in terms of talent training so as to allow more participants to join this business? Secretary, thank you, Mr. Leung, for the questions. Training, of course, is very important. Now, the European company has now set a presence in Hong Kong, and the Hong Kong International Aviation Academy under the Airport Authority of Hong Kong has also signed an MOU with this company, and that a training course will be organized in relation to aircraft engineering. Now, 300 places will be set aside. The course will focus on high-end professional aircraft engineering services. I understand that a trial course has been rolled out, and that a dozen personnel have signed up for the course. In my main reply, I also talked about the cooperation arrangement in relation to mutual recognition of qualification of practitioners. We have expanded the scope of recognition to institutions outside the territory, and this can help widen the talent pool. Thank you, President. Ms. Michelle Tang. Thank you, President. The government in recent years has decided to make Hong Kong the first aircraft parts processing and trading center in Asia. I understand that the training courses will be provided, and this can address the manpower needs in the short term. However, in terms of hardware, and that means aircraft parts dismantling and repair, a lot more is desired. I want to know the timetable for setting up this aircraft parts processing and trading center, including the provision of hardware, the location, so that we can feel the commitment of the government in making Hong Kong the first aircraft parts trading and maintenance center in Asia. Thank you, Ms. Tang, for the question. The government attaches great importance to this issue. We're happy to announce that, in fact, the government and the airport authority earlier liaised with the relevant companies both in Hong Kong and overseas on this matter. And earlier, the airport authority got in touch with about 30 such organizations and associations to understand their business needs and market developments. The airport authority also received inquiries from about 5 such companies, including aircraft leasing companies, aircraft maintenance companies, aircraft parts trading and investment companies. In the future, we will remain proactive. We will reach out to these companies to discuss not only the preferential policies, but also other matters such as, say, the maintenance base on Airport Island, as well as training of talents, land grant, etc. And that this matter will be referred to the steering committee. What about the timetable that Ms. Tang was asking about? Well, we remain dynamic on this matter. In fact, we have signed an MOU with this leading European aeronautic services company. As for other liaison work, upon completion, we will announce the relevant timetable specifically as soon as possible. Mr. Chen Yong. Thank you, President. Thank you, Secretary. I fully appreciate our support for homegrown aircraft in order to take forward high-quality development and help our country's aircraft go global. We need to come up with short, medium, and long-term plans. So, in terms of using Hong Kong as the base for commercial flights involving the the homegrown aircrafts, Do you have a timetable? Well, the Civil Aviation Department has actively taken part in the research and development of homegrown aircrafts. And in fact, for the International Aviation Academy of Hong Kong, we have actively liaised with commercial flight companies on the operation of C919 training. There are also discussions on aircraft maintenance, engineering, and safety. After the relevant approval authorities have provided clear guidance on the curriculum and the number of candidates, will make due announcements. We do have C919 homegrown aircrafts flying commercial routes to and from Beijing and Hong Kong, Shanghai. And this can help train our ground crew and maintenance staff and help our homegrown aircraft go global. Mr. Lothair Lam. Now, the Secretary referred to the training of talents. Has the administration assessed the number of technicians and engineers needed? The Secretary also referred to mutual recognition of qualifications. After setting up indicators, the next step is to enhance local training to support the long-term development. So do you have this plan? Secretary, thank you, President. To answer Mr. Lam's question, the Hong Kong International Aviation Academy is now organizing a training course with a view to accepting 300 candidates. In relation to the C919 homegrown comic aircraft and relevant training, about 2 years ago, when it started to take commercial flight routes, we only had about 40 qualified maintenance personnel. And we're now aiming at increasing the number to 300, so that on the basis of the mutual recognition scheme of the 3 places, we can further allow those qualified under overseas institutions to join. Mr. Michael Lee. Thank you, President. Members talked about the manpower shortage in terms of aircraft maintenance. In fact, there are 2 training courses, namely AAELT or AMMT, currently in operation in Hong Kong. In order to develop Hong Kong into an aircraft dismantling and parts recycling center, we need people with professional skills. But there are different courses operating in Hong Kong than those in the mainland, and that there may be, say, the different use of medium of instruction and professional jargons. And how do you make sure that in terms of the specifications of aircrafts, the information provided will come in English and Chinese as well, so as to allow true mutual recognition of qualifications? And that courses can be set up by the International Aviation Academy to meet the manpower needs. President, thank you, Mr. Lee, for the question. We have completed the first trial course with 11 candidates enrolled. The training course covered modules such as assembling of cabins as well as parts, and will continue to enhance training. For example, the International Aviation Academy will provide relevant training courses for local candidates and non-local candidates, especially those in the Greater Bay Area, so as to give play to the advantage of Hong Kong in adopting the single in the certification, and that will try to cater for the needs of different language needs, so as to maintain our leading position on civil aviation safety and to meet the needs of candidates. Mr. Dominic Lee. Thank you. Will you consider setting aside sites near the airport for the, say, storage of aircraft parts? I know that this does not come under your purview. Have you talked to the relevant bureaus, such as the Development Bureau or the government departments, to see if sites can be earmarked? Secretary, thank you, Mr. Lee, for the question. In fact, the Transport and Logistics Bureau and the Commercial and Economic Development Bureau have made an effort in terms of negotiation with the leading European aeronautic services company. We have closely liaised with each other to provide policy or hardware support, and we also make recommendations to the steering committee chaired by the Financial Secretary about the demand for land near the airport for dismantling, maintenance. We've heard this request, and we need to strike a balance among different factors. So at the steering committee, there will be a discussion of these matters, including the relevant policies. Now, in terms of land approval within the government, we will also provide suitable support and make an announcement in due course. Mr. Alan Chan, I think Hong Kong should be developed into the aircraft parts processing and trading center in Asia. We have the prerequisites because, first of all, we are in the center of Asia. Most of the Asian countries can be reached within a 6-hour flight. And in fact, Tianjin in China is the aircraft manufacturing base. For the aircraft needs in ASEAN countries, the parts are manufactured there. The third point is that a lot of parts are provided to our neighboring cities. So has the Secretary considered further enhancing our position? That is, for example, we have 3 major aircraft companies in China, and that is Air China and then the other 2, and maybe we can provide a one-stop trading platform with streamlined online procedures for the storage, maintenance, repair, and trading of parts. Thank you, Mr. Chan, for your question. This is a very good suggestion. Aircraft dismantling and parts recycling is a very niche and professional aviation business. We are an international aviation hub, so I do think there is a lot of potential for Hong Kong. Now, in particular, currently, the demand for parts recycling is very high, and for aircraft dismantling at the moment, the businesses are mostly in Western countries. We have the backing of the country and we're connected to the world, so we have a lot of potential. Now, please note, members, that in terms of supplementary, please just raise your supplementary question instead of making a speech.